Fenix introduced a new line this year with high-performance weapon-mounted tactical lights. And today we're looking at the brand new Fenix GL19R, and it's a mid-sized pistol mount light with a TIR style optic, onboard USB-C charging here on the right hand side, and with a name like GL19R I have to put this on my Glock 19, so we'll see that later on in the review. It just seemed like it was meant to be. Thanks to Fenix for sending this to me as a pre-production sample to check out and review. I'll have links to where you can buy this and find it, more information out about it in the description below, along with all my social channels, which I encourage you to follow. This week I've posted a couple deals from other manufacturers and things like that, so I'm trying to help you guys out who are also flashaholics. Since this is a pre-production model, I don't have any samples of the retail box or the final accessories. I can tell you this is the battery it'll come with. It's a Fenix 10 amp discharge, 1100 milliamp hour battery. It is flat top and protected on this case, otherwise standard battery. A nice choice by Fenix here. While I have things open, we can just take a look inside there. There is a short spring on the inside, which is good to see, and another spring on this side. It will also come with a USB A to C charging cable, as well as two different rail attachments. The Glock piece comes standard, as you can see, installed, and here is the 1913 piece. They are aluminum, and as far as I can tell, they fit pretty well, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. A quick note on the manual, which I was able to get a digital copy of. I thought it was kind of interesting that they included some basic gun safety instructions that were actually good, such as never point a firearm at something you're not willing to destroy. Completely unnecessary for a flashlight, but nice to see too. So construction and design, the light is made from aluminum and is hard anodized in a flat black cover. Overall, the design is similar to what we've seen from other weapon lights. Or here is a ThruNite TW10 that I've reviewed as well. You know, you can, and this one runs a 18650 as well. You can tell it's a weapon light. That's similar what they are. They've got the pieces in here. They've got a mount system, which is different. Buttons on the rear or back, a head that unscrews, you know, similar. As I mentioned before, the front untwists here to get at the battery. I do like that they have a battery indicator for the direction at front. It does go battery forward, which is like most lights. It has springs at both ends, and the TIR optic is a little bit frosted. It does have a glass lens in front, which is nice for cleaning and chemical resistance. They do recommend you put a slight amount of oil on there to make cleaning in the future easier. I'll cover the mount in the section below. We'll talk more about the user interface buttons here as well. They are hinged at the bottom, as you can see here, and plastic, so you press and it then goes on. I like the way this works better than buttons on the side or buttons in the end that you have to poke, and I'll talk more about that when I have this mounted on my pistol to kind of show you. The labeling on this light is a little bit strange. You've got the normal labeling here that you'd see. These are laser etched. They aren't pure white. They're kind of a gray, which I like. But then I've got a few markings on this unit here where it looks like they've almost put a sticker over previous marks. I'm thinking that probably this is something to do with the pre-production, and I don't expect the production model to have these similar characteristics. I do like that they put the markings, the required markings that people do, like the C, the CE, the China export, they don't recycle at the top here, where when mounted you won't see them. I just like that. I measured the length at 70 millimeters, not including the buttons, width at 30 millimeters, and the height at 31, including the top of the mount up here. The outside diameter of the head is 25 millimeters, and weight with the battery came in at 3.5 ounces with the battery, or 99.2 grams. And the light is impact resistant to 1 meter and IPX68 water related, so it should be fine for most applications. I'll roll in pictures of other models here. I've got the ThruNite TW10. I've got an Olight PL2, which is quite a bit bigger, but it's a dual battery light, but you can kind of see lengthwise very, very similar. And then I've got an Olight PL Mini Valkyrie here. As kind of a size comparison, it's a smaller light. So let's talk about your mounting options on the GL19R. You've got this lever here that unlocks and locks on a cam system. What that does is it lets this side be springy when it's unlocked and push in. This allows you to get the fit tailored to your firearm exactly. And then on the other side, you've got a screw to fine tune that, and that side is rigid mounted. This works pretty good. It's pretty easy to flip this lever. That's one thing I think would be a slight improvement, is just give this a little bit more resistance. It's flush, it won't get snagged or anything, but you know, I could see this possibly coming loose. Here is my 19R. We'll just do a quick round check. It is empty, so no worries there. I've got the light here unlocked, and we'll just kind of slide it on like that, and I've got the lever, and I pulled it down to lock it in, and it's in place here. No side-to-side movement, just a hair of back and forth movement here that I can see. Once I do have it mounted, you can see I can reach it easily with my trigger finger to turn on, although Fenix recommends doing it with your non-dominant hand, so I can do that still with my thumb pretty easily in my normal two-handed grip. As far as holsters, with being such a new pistol light, I couldn't find any manufacturers that had holsters available, and Fenix didn't indicate they had any partners signed up at product launch, so you'll probably have to turn to the custom holster market if you want a holster for your firearm and this light. This is one of those problems with new companies getting into the market for the first time. They just don't have that market share that manufacturers want before they make products. Hopefully that changes and you'll start to see some holsters out there. So let's talk about the LED and beam here. The GL19R is running the Luminous SFT40 LED. No official tint is given by Fenix here, but my Opal measure metered it at 5570 Kelvin with a CRI of 62. And this beam is mostly spot, as you would expect in a light like this, as we can see here. The TIR reflector helps increase the size of that hotspot and minimize the amount of spill. On turbo, there's almost no PWM according to my meter, but there is a decent amount on high that is visible from the meter that I'll show you here. I now have a calibrated lumen tube from Texas Ace, and this is really exciting because I can now give you pretty accurate lumen numbers for the lights I review. This is the first light I put through that test, and I can tell you official outputs in turbo were 1200 lumens, and I tested it at 1197 lumens at 30 seconds. On high, it's rated for 350 lumens, and I tested it at 339 lumens. So all in all, very close to what's advertised, and that's great to see. All right, here are the night shots for the Fenix GL19R. And this is running that Luminous SFT40 LED, about 5600 Kelvin. And this is in turbo, 1200 lumens. And you can see it throws about 210 meters is what Fenix claims there. You can see it lights up the trees pretty nice. And I don't know if you can see on screen there, but there's a squirrel on the neighbor's fence there that doesn't know what the hell's going on, I think. But at a distance, pretty good. This is quite bright. This light also has a turbo or a high mode, which I'll switch to. And here is high. This is 350 lumens. This is probably more reasonable, especially for any close range tasks. It's plenty of light and about double the runtime. Here is kind of my comparison shot. This is a ThruNite TW10. It's a P9 LED, 900 lumens, and I chose it because it's also running an 18350 battery. So similar size and same battery light. You can see it's a more floody beam. It doesn't throw as far. It's also not as bright. And here is that Fenix. More focused, further throw, brighter, and just overall a better beam for a weapon light in my opinion. So again, here is the Fenix GL19R. In turbo mode, you can count on that full output of turbo for 30 seconds before you see any declines. Those declines happen slowly out to about 3 minutes where the light is making around 500 lumens then. It holds this for about 50 minutes before a somewhat significant step down and shutting off right at 1 hour. During this time, the hottest I saw the light was 43C at the 55-minute mark, and that is just warm. The light has thermal protections built in at 60C according to the manual, but I never saw those high of temps when I tested at room temperature. When I compared the turbo to high outputs, the high produced quite a bit fewer lumens as expected, about 340, and the shape of the curve is very linear decline out to 2 hours. In high mode, my meter measured a decent amount of PWM too. There is a low voltage protection here on the light with this indicator that's on the left side. If I poke it, you can probably see that green LED. That will go red and blink when the light is very near out of power. It will also drop the light down to 50 lumens, so this is going to be hard to miss. Fenix does recommend charging the light every 4 months if not used for peak performance. That's just a good idea anyways. So the UI is a little bit different on this light, but it is logical. From off, you can press the light to turn it on into the mode that was last used. This is high here, and it will turn on consistently. If you long press from off, the light goes into momentary mode, so you can easily just go on and off. To select your different output modes, you press one of the buttons and then press the other, and you can see it toggles up to high. This is a little bit awkward to do when mounted, I think, because you've got to use both hands or come over the top of your pistol. So not ideal, but not awful either. To enter strobe, once the light is already on, you have to press and hold any of the switches for half a second to activate strobe there. This is momentary strobe only. There's no way to lock strobe on, and I don't think that's very ideal for a tactical situation with a half second being required to turn it on. That's kind of a long time. It's worth noting the light does have a way to lock if you wish, and memory mode only works as long as the battery is installed. Once the battery is removed, the light goes back to its default mode, which is high. So let's talk about recharging here. It's accomplished via the USB-C port on the right side of the light here. I have my cable that I will plug in to show you what it's showing. The light is mostly full. In here, we've got a red indicator showing it's charging, and my meter showing it's currently at 3 watts of charging speed. It's not showing it is PD charging here, although this is compatible to charge with PD chargers, meaning it charges just fine. You don't get the benefits of the PD speed, and it doesn't label itself as PD here, so not a big issue. Using the onboard charging here from low voltage protection at 3.074 volts, the light reported in that it was charged at 1 hour 44 minutes, and the cell tested at 4.16 volts. Recharging rate here during that time was 0.72 amps during that constant charge current phase, you can see in the graph here, with a small spike before it starts to decline. Roughly 1C charging here, good for overall battery longevity. Worth also noting, this red indicator that you see on the left-hand side is used for a battery status indicator when the light is mounted and being used. It has a number of different blinks and color options, green and red, so you'll want to check the manual to indicate what all that means. My conclusion is that the Fenix GL19R is a solid offering from a company experienced with tactical lights but new to pistol mounted lights. The build quality here seems to be good, and the mounting system works pretty well for first time out of the gate. The rear buttons are certainly better than some brands, but it's hard to beat Surefire's toggles in my personal opinion. I would say it's at least as good, if not better, than Olight's what they're using here with these bumpers on the side. I really like that Fenix is using standard battery sizes here and nothing proprietary, so it will be easy to get replacement 18350 batteries in the future should you need them. I think the UI here, while it works, could probably be optimized a little bit. The UI here means you have to go into a situation knowing what level you want to use, and for me that'd be high so it's not too bright, and then bump up the turbo if needed, and strobe is a little hard to activate as well. While it'd be easy to do that in theory, I think it'd be actually a little hard to do in practice. I think I'd prefer a quick double tap or triple tap to go to strobe or turbo, kind of like you see in a lot of EDC flashlights. I just think that would be quicker and easier for many. Overall, other than the UI side of things here, I think this is a very solid offering for a first weapon light from Fenix. Hopefully they're able to partner with some holster manufacturers in the future to get support there as well. And that's kind of my thoughts on the Fenix GL19R. What do you guys think of the Fenix GL19R? Let me know in the comments below. I'll have links to where you can find this one and order it if you wish. And as always, I appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, and following for more video reviews soon. Thanks for watching.